Alright, this is the Hornady RAPiD Safe Night Guard. I've had this for probably about a year now. This is going to be a review of this product. I had another one of these about 2 years ago, and it lasted about a year, and then it shut down this LCD screen, or whatever this is. The screen shut off. It had battery backup and it had cord. Nothing would work. I had to open it manually to get my firearm out. So it did fail. The original one did fail. However, I called Hornady customer support, and they kind of wanted to troubleshoot a little bit over the phone, and then we're just like basically, send it in. So I packaged it up in the original box because I had that lying around. I sent it in. I can't remember how long it took. This is, like I said, this is about a year ago now. It was probably like a week or something. They called me directly and said, we can't figure out, so we're just going to give you a new one. So they sent me a new one, and that's what this is right here. So I've had this one for about a year now, and it's working fine. Just to give you a little bit of a walkthrough on it. You have a passcode option, which I do use occasionally, but typically what I do is I put the RFID tag on the back of, I believe that's what that is. You program them, and then you stick them onto whatever you have. I like putting them on the back of my phone case because I always keep my phone case here. So if I needed this really quick, all I do is just reach down, push it close, and there you go. Bingo, bango. There isn't a ton of room in here. The Vaultec safe my wife has does seem to have more room. You can fit like a full, 2 full-size handguns in there probably. And it's really about the same size as this. This one will fit a full-size handgun, no problem. That's what I keep in there every day. However, it barely fits. There's some room in here, but not a ton. And it's also extremely loud when it opens. Close this up again. Again, just using that programmable little RFID thing. Boom, like that. And it opens well. That was the other thing. The other one, this mechanism started to fail. It wasn't really working, and it would open like an inch after a while. This one seems to be fine, so I'm guessing I just had a lemon. I was going to give this a second chance. I don't really like the idea of depending on something that I know didn't work the first time, but this is a different unit, so I have to give them a chance. And I know the people at Hornady seem like good people. And they seem like they want to put out a good product. Obviously, this thing's made in China. I don't know how many safes are really made here, especially these types of safes that are electronic and whatnot. But I like the Vaultec soft open. But the thing is I use this every single day. I take my gun out of here every single day, and I put it back in here every single day. And the Vaultec one we have doesn't get used nearly as often. I would say like once a month. So this one definitely gets a lot more mileage, and it's still working great this time around. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't clean this thing that much. I brought it down in here into my office to review it. Normally this thing's on my nightstand, so it's covered in, whatnot. But anyway, I would say for the money, this probably is the better option. But if I do need one of these. I have, a child, so it's one of those things. It's a need for me personally. Not everyone thinks the same way, but it's a great invention. I don't know if it's the best one. I do kind of envy the Vaultec, but this was like half the price on sale as the Vaultec. And I really do like this screen, and I actually like this screen better. So one thing I noticed is, because this thing's basically blacked out until you hit something. There we go. So anyway, until you hit anything, basically nothing's lit up. So what's nice about that is when a child approaches it, they think it's just a giant clock, until they see you messing around with it. But it's just a weird, heavy clock, and so they're not really that intrigued by it. So like really young kids aren't going to be messing around with it so much. That's something I noticed with my son. However, the Vaultec one, and maybe you can adjust the settings on it, I'm not 100% sure, but the Vaultec, everything's lit up, and it's a bunch of weird stuff, and there's a lot, it looks more interactive to a kid, I think, and he's always wanting to play around with it. Fortunately, again, same thing, that one's biometric. It doesn't have the RFID, and that's one thing I really think I really prefer this system. But the RFID thing, it's just faster. You throw your phone in front of it. I always have my phone with me for various reasons, other than the obvious that most people have them for. But I think this is a better system than the Vaultek. But as far as the quality is concerned, this is a dated design. I think they could update the design, but I think it's, for the money, I have to say this is a pretty good option. I mean, I can't deny the fact that even though I had a bad one, this one's been perfectly fine, and it's given me no pause, and I use it every single day, like I said. So I will continue to use it, obviously, and obviously I have a backup because we have the Vaultek. However, if something does happen, does go wrong, I'll post another video kind of describing what went wrong. So yeah, I would say it's definitely worth the money you pay, hands down. The Vaultek is, I think, 450, something like that. This was, I want to say, 250, if that. And it's heavy. It's louder when it opens up, but I mean, if you have kids and especially if you're on a budget like most of us are, I think this is probably the better option out of the two. I don't have enough time opening and closing the Vaultek every single day to trust that it's better than this. Let's put it that way. It does seem like nicer, but it's also just a more modern design and it has more capacity. But is it better? I don't know. I mean, I don't know about Vaultek's customer service either. I mean, obviously, Hornady's customer service is extremely good, but you don't want to have to use customer service on a product like this, just like you wouldn't want to have to use it on a product like that. So, but I would say, good job, Hornady, for the most part, and I would recommend this until something changes. But that's, I think, as good of an overview as I can give.